Holy crap. Um, Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I am your humble host, Mr. David Null, also known as Hawkeye Two Feathers. And I'm sitting here and realizing that I wanted to do a video tonight with Milky Way Weekly, but with all the internet connections and problems and things, I decided to just go ahead and have this topic. And I got Breaking Dawn sitting over here. We're sitting here. We just had some good chicken and rice and yum yum. And so our stomachs are full and our mouths are happy with the afterglow of the taste of some yummy food. And decided to go ahead and talk about this. And in my I greet you all with the love and honor of the infinite Creator, and I do continue to pray for each and every one of you each and every day, and that you will continue to accept and receive the gifts and the healing and the blessings from the universe. So I never want to forget that, but I almost jumped right into it because my head was sort of there already. But anyway, the conversation about spiritualism, and it keeps sort of coming around on different topics and everything. Hello, Chloe. Blessings to you. And the topic keeps coming around like, well, some of these people that are spiritual, they act like pagans. They don't really believe in a God. They believe in Mother Nature. And it's like, we should all believe in Mother Nature. And I've always said that, there there she is. She's sitting over here, not necessarily in the background, but she's in the peanut gallery, y'all. So y'all give a hand out there to Miss Breaking Dawn.
I am the peanut gallery.
Well, you like peanuts now. You got to admit, don't you go there now.
I am.
I ain't gonna throw nothing. Don't you need? No, I'm teasing. It's an old carny expression, the peanut gallery. But anyway, me being an old carny, so that's why I tossed it in there. But there is with spirituality now. There are many people who are starting to understand things about spirituality, and that spirituality has absolutely nothing to do with a religion. You can be spiritual without having any kind of connections with any religion. And but there folks have to give us kind of folk a name. And they want to say, well, that must be a cult. It's a following. Those people over there, they say they believe in Christ, but they don't go to church. Now how is that possible? You can't do that sort of thing. Believe in Christ, but you don't go to church. Well, wait a minute. Hang on. Let's go back to the Bible. What did Jesus do? He went into the temple and pitched a bitch, if in so many words, and gave the pharaohs some hell. The Pharisees. Not the pharaohs. We might have gave a pharaoh or two of hell. Who knows? But to the point though that if any of the story is true, I just know in my heart that there's enough of it to me for me to believe, and that's okay. And the rest of it, go ahead. Y'all have your share of it. But spirituality is so much more. It's the Christ consciousness that I'm more in agreement with, and with the Charistus, and the idea that Mother Earth is sacred. All things are sacred, and I am a protector of the sacred. And if Mother Earth is sacred, then I'm a protector of her. Does that make me a tree hugging hippie? You betcha. And maybe I've got a sword, so you better watch out. I've fought some of these people off against some of these ancient trees that are still left on my property down on the river. These old pine trees are huge. Hey, Miss Michelle, how are you? Blessings back to you. But the idea is, I mean, I literally stood in front of these machines and said, nah, you ain't getting these. You're not coming down here and tearing this up. And they didn't. I mean, I almost got beat up on my own property by a great big, 6'4" pulpwood guy, a big mofo, let me tell you. Look up, sir. You're standing on my property, mister. But anyway, so yes, I have fought and bled for this land, especially where I live. Now that puts me in maybe a little bit different perspective than some other folk in that, well, I don't see why I would put blood, sweat, and something. Let somebody else build a house and I'll move in. I'm still building my house. Now Breaking Dawn's helping out. And we've made great progress in the last 2 months. So, thumbs up. One of these days I'll walk around the house and show you some of the, how things are looking now than what they used to look like. Um, uh, Gerald, how are you? Back at you. Yeah, Chloe still? Okay, gotcha. But the idea though that now I'm talking about the other side. Okay, them folk, not us. Those of us who understand that we're members of the League of Like-Minded Beings, and that's all there is to it. We don't need anything more. We just understand that the rest of us exist. And we understand they exist, but they're up in some other kind of la la land that we don't quite understand. And they don't understand us because their belief system is such that they have to believe that there is a God. And I'm not a traditionalist in the God theory. Okay, I think there were gods and demigods, but there is only one creator. Okay, so talk about God all you want to, but that ain't my creator. My creator is the creator. It is the source. Okay, so other folks can have gods in their religion, okie dokie, but not in mine. Gods are could literally be beings from other worlds, and yes, they could consider themselves gods with a small g, as in Atlas, and all the quote mythological characters, Zeus and the rest of them. Okay, Poseidon, etc. But the rest. Hey, Gerald, if I didn't say hi before, hello, blessings. But the idea, though, that th- those folks who don't understand us folk, or anybody who's trying to understand spirituality, not just you and me per se, but I mean us folks who are trying to understand spirituality from a natural point of view, which is natural actually to our own spirits and to our own selves. So, are we conspiracy theorists, or are we waking up to the universe that's always been here? So, but they want to consider us. Well, they must be something. Well, what is it about those of us about spirituality? A true shaman who understands and does not misuse in any way the magic of Mother Earth. He might help to calm a situation down if there's an argument, and so he can use his form of charm and his calmness of voice and how he reacts to things to calm a situation down, and that's powerful. But rather than just start a war, usually these folk calm the rest of them down and say, maybe not, don't go running off and go try to scalp tonight. You should, we should sit down and think about this, you know. Um, those were the elders and some of the shamans who said, hey, let's throw some bones on the ground and see what comes up. Just don't go running out of camp like a bunch of wild Indians, to coin an old phrase when I was growing up. So now I know better. But to the point though, they want to put us into a cult because if we don't say no, I don't believe in your God. I really don't. I believe in the Creator. And in so many words, in my belief, my Creator is higher than your God. What? Yeah, because he doesn't wish to be worshipped. The source does not need worship. Our adoration and honor to each other is honor to the source. So when you honor your brother, your sister, and I mean in any state, not necessarily just a relative, but a brother or sister in life, when you embrace them with peace and love and honor, you're giving to the source because that's what source is. So you say, well, what about God? Well, what about him? What about your version of God? Does this fit in? Well, he sits on a throne and he does this stuff with the angels. Well, okay. But to me, source is like everything all encompassing beyond. I don't know. God seems in my understanding of the source of all, which in my belief would be considered a God, but I don't want to use that terminology. When I think about the God in the Bible, it's so limiting because when as you understand there's more to the understanding of spirituality when you take religion out of it, and you say, well, holy mackerel, if I when I'm good to people, I get this really nice feeling, and their energy comes back, and people are relating better, and somehow you become part of a magical thing in that maybe you've helped somebody to understand something. I know you all have are partaking right now of some of the magic that I feel that I'm able to share with you. So, in my earth magic, as me as a shaman, this brings me great joy to be able to share these things with you. At the same time, it's draining and, requires a lot of meditation on some of these subjects, sometimes for a while. But that's not my point. I'm not here for that. My thing is though that it gives me great joy to know that there's somebody else seeking. That's what's important. And regardless of whether or not, quote, you follow me or not, that me, this ain't about a following. It is about ween, you know. How about that one? It is about ween, yes, and sending cheers to Bob because I haven't seen a glitch yet. Thank you, Bob. We appreciate it. So, but to the outside world, to the rest of the folk, they want to put us in a category. They're damn bound and determined they're going to put us in a category. And we have to be careful that we don't fall into their construct. And what I mean by that is that if somebody says, well, you did a ceremony? Yeah, I burned some sage. Oh, well, are you Catholic? Yeah. Did you go to mass over Thanksgiving and that and over you're going to go? Yeah. Did they burn incense in the Catholic Church? Uh-huh. Sage is incense. What? Yeah, sage is incense. But you go to another church and they use incense? Yeah, but what? Christian church using all this smoke. I used to be the incense altar boy. I loved it when I was in the Catholic Church. Boy, I swung that thing. I had smoke going everywhere. You could not see down the aisles between the pews. I had that mess going. I was like, I'm gonna sanctify this place. I mean, back when I ain't lying. I'm telling a true story now. When I was at Most Holy Redeemer Church as an altar boy, man, I could not. I volunteered to be the incense guy. No, a lot of the other boys were like, well, how can you stand it? I was like, give it to me, give it to me. Let me put it in the church, y'all. That was my job around the holidays, and I loved it. But to the point though is like now I think I've got some. Excuse me for bowing into the camera there. I've got some sage here, and Lord have mercy, we've been lighting it on. It's been here and there, and I'm going to light a little bit more because it smells so good and it keeps the vibrations going. There's just something about, and there's 2 or 3 different kinds of sage, by the way, too. Breaking Dawn got this one. We were at the powwow down in Cairo, right? Yeah. I got some too, but it was loosely wrapped and it does not burn, nor does it smell quite the same. Similar, but not. And she's lit this. She's lit this several times, and so I'm lighting this incense, and now for some reason, incense, this sage. I light this sage, and now somehow this has become a religious experience. Do you follow what they would think about this? Okay, so here's Hawkeye. Well, what a crazy name Hawkeye is. He considered, well, it looks like a white guy to me, but yeah, but I got Cherokee blood in me by 3 generations. Really? Yeah, and I might actually be related to Robert E. Lee. What? Yeah, how about that mess? But we won't go there. I'm just an old hippie that's close to the earth, and I understand things in a different way. And and these are the teachings of the old ones. So you light a sacred herb and you do it with honor. You do it with honor to the universe and to you folk. I like this. And hello to Delaney. How are you? Good to see you. Um, Marie, how are you? Blessings out there to you too. Chloe, still? Okie dokie. But so my point though, that somebody else can view in at this, and if the sound were turned down, he's like, okay, they could make up a story. I'm pointing at this stuff, and I could make like the sign of the cross, and then he's doing some kind of hoodoo voodoo with this burning stick of stuff. Well, but you go to a Catholic church and they, do the incense. What's the difference here? The difference is I'm not going to a church. Well, if you don't go to a church but you believe in Christ, yeah, that's unbelievable. That's not possible, but it's true. So, but you can't do both. Well, Jesus wasn't. He didn't go in the temple. Where did Jesus teach? Out in the fields to the populace. He fed folks with, baskets of bread and fishes, and he gave them and fed the multitudes. He never asked for a dime. He never asked for a contribution. He said, can you share? He took what that little they had and multiplied it, which was the miracle, and passed it out to the multitudes. Now, what does, any of these highfalutin preachers say, y'all come to church, bring a little bit, but we're going to make sure that when y'all leave, there's going to be enough scrap to feed you for a couple of days after the thing. Oh, no, 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 no. It's us who must bring to them to support the church they built. Was Jesus about that? Was the Christ anywhere near that? Absolutely not. So if you say, well, but you believe in Christ, but you don't, I don't believe in the church. I don't believe in the Christian church. Absolutely, I believe in the Christ, the Christ consciousness over centuries before and since the Jesus. So, when you understand the bigger picture, especially those of you who follow Dante in the 72 and so forth, there are many reincarnations of many beings who are spiritual beings who could be the Christ in any situation. I don't mean Jesus now, but could be a Christ conscious being. Buddha could have been a a conscious being, because he was about peace and love and harmony and trying to understand the portion of man who to ascend. I mean, come on. So it's like Buddha didn't start any wars. Now, there were wars fought in Buddha's name, but just as in Christianity, in Christianity, Jesus didn't start a war, but people fought wars in his name. And I'm sure that if he was upstairs looking down, he would be going, no, that's not what I meant. Y'all stop that, you know. No, no, no. We're, the first crusade by the churches. We're doing this in Christ's name. He was going, no, I do not agree with this. Nuh-uh. But now I believe that, you see. I believe that core value. But now that would make me a cult type person because I'm selling something else. What I'm selling is no religion. What I'm selling is your own personal spiritual understanding that Christ tried to show to each and every one of us, and so did Buddha and many of the other spiritual beings through history. I'm proud to be one of these spokespersons to just, do I consider myself Christ like? No. But Buddha like? No. But do I consider myself a hermetic and a monk who lives in the woods to try to understand nature? Yeah, but I don't consider myself great like them. but I understand that I wish to emulate them in some way, shape, or form by being a good person without trying to put all kinds of trappings in the way. Well, look, I'll help you out. Well, but do you believe in Jesus? Well, maybe yes or no. Why is that a precursor to this? I never go up to somebody and say, "Hey, what religion are you?" I'm over here in this weird spiritual thing, and I don't want you all to get contaminated by me because I believe in Christ, but I don't believe in religion. What? Oh, talk about a real go getter for a conversation down here in the South, right? So, but the idea though that as we progress with our spirituality, people look at you because they have at me. So I'm sharing this knowledge with you. Over the years, I've had to mimic certain things. In other words, if I go to certain places, my hair's tucked into my shirt in the back. I don't let everybody see just how Willie Nelson long it really is, because some people get a little freaked out about this long haired old hippie man, So even though I'm not a threat to them, there's something about me that is a threat to them. So I try to like reduce the threat. Okay, so I put my hair back and I tuck it in the back and I wear my hat and I look more normal. So it doesn't freak some people out. So, but the other side of the coin is like, do I really care? Well, yes, I do. I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. So there are times when I can let my hair down. And then there are times when it's appropriate for me because of other people's feelings is to put my hair back, put on a hat, and appear a little bit more normal. Is there anything wrong with that? No, because I don't want to force my opinion or my whatever, well, he's got his long hair and I'm trying to force my thing. No, 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 no. Wait, hang on here. My purpose is to get along with folks no matter what. And if I can make them feel comfortable and then let my hair down, well, first they've got to know me and they go, "Oh, you got really long hair. Wow, that's interesting." So it doesn't bother them near as bad as going up with my hair down. They go, "Well, that guy's an old guy. He's got long hair, blah, blah, blah." And so, so get to know somebody and then let your hair down. Is that being false? No, it's just playing it safe. It's allowing other people to understand who you are. Now, some people say, well, that's being fake. Nah, I haven't done anything. Pulling back my hair just changes my impression from their point of view. It's not my point of view. I'm still me. But by pulling my hair back and putting on a hat, I'm more acceptable to them from their point of view, not mine. I'm still me. But then when they find out, take your hat off and your hair comes down, they go, "Oh, that's pretty long hair there. How long has it been growing?" But now they've gotten to know you some. So, but why go in with a mask on and go "Ah!" and scare the crap out of somebody just to get their attention? So that's not being fake. That's understanding other people's feelings. That's being aware and using your awareness and your spiritual and physical awareness of, what? I want other people to be okay with me. So, when I look better, when I pull my hair back and my da 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 da, and they're more comfortable, okay. But it doesn't change who I am. So we have to take that with that strength, but we have to understand both points of view because I went for a long time and tried to shove my point of view down somebody else's throat. Like, here's my long hair, love it or leave it. Not necessarily a good idea. So there are times when it's like, well, why do you pull your hair back? Because it makes other people more comfortable. That's why. What? Yeah, it makes other people more comfortable. So why not? Why, if I know that, my appearance or something, some people, "Oh, long hair, there's a guy, blah, blah. If I know that I can calm that down, why shouldn't I? Isn't that awareness? Isn't that aware of what other people, it's not about so much what they think of you, and it's not like I'm putting on makeup. Well, I used to, but I gave that up. Um, Um, and I won't go in back when I was a clown and doing face painting and things. And anyway, and also as a character actor and doing makeup and stuff and so forth. But anyway, but that's truly putting on another face. But to just like pull your hair back and just be make yourself more comfortable around somebody else, if you know it's like, well, I really like to wear this nice loud shirt. Yeah. But if you're gonna go to a fairly conservative place, don't be a butthole. Just do a little bit more to fit in because it makes other people more comfortable and you can get to them easier. If you're offensive right off the bat, then you must be part of the cult. You are part of those non-religious folk. Y'all talk spirituality and burn that saggy stuff. And you praise some kind of creator? Well, who the hell is a creator? Man, I'm gonna stick with my God. You know, you know how the drill can go. So it's important for us to understand that, listen, let's not put ourselves in a cult from their point of view. You can put your hair down when you're at the house, you know, but maybe when you're out in public, you're still you, but you put it behind your ears. And I mean, your spirituality, it's still there. You can still let your hair down anytime. It's not like it's that but if you feel that you're around some comfortable people, take your hat off and show who you are, kind of thing, you know? Wow, that's cool, brother. Yeah. But to the point though, why shock people right off the bat? So that keeps you out of the cult. You understand what I'm saying? So it allows people to see you as, whoa, sort of normal. But now all of a sudden, when you let your hair down, you're not the cult type now. You get my point? It's very important because how we portray ourselves to other people is very important. Now, I do these YouTube videos, and there are times when I pull my hair back, and there are times when I don't. And tonight's one of them nights I'm just like, I got my hair down and, kind of brushed out. And it's like, okay, why not? It looks a little curly there, don't it? But giggling over there. Um, but after getting bonked on the head by a big tree limb the other day, yeah, it's still I bonked my noggin really good. Uh, so saw stars and everything, and it was daylight still. But just like in the cartoons, and a little mouse running around in my head going, "Wee, this is fun." But So the idea, though, let's stay out of the cult. All right, now we're not in a cult, but they don't know that. Okay, so we have to make sure that we are presentable enough with our views and our points of view and how we present it without being fake, but maybe we just use a different tone of voice. I'm not saying we should change who we are and back up, nah, but we approach it with a different point of view. So my intent, if I go up to a bunch of strangers, is my hair is going to be pulled back and tucked into my shirt until they get to know me. That's all. Makes them feel more comfortable. Why not? If I'm going to go up to an alien race, I'm going to wear my battle gear with spears coming out, and that I'm going to go up with darts sticking off my helmet, and I'm from Earth, welcome, being from another world. No, I'm going to pull my hair back and go, how do y'all? I'm Hawkeye from South Georgia. Where are y'all from? Got some greens cooking. Don't know if you're into any chicken, but we got some chicken and rice in the pot right now that's yum dummy good. Come on in. We got an extra plate. Bob, I know you're doing your best out there. We got a little lag going on there. A lot of internet stuff going on apparently across a big wide area. So we thank you, Bob, because we've been fairly less jiggly tonight. But if I'm a little comedic in this, I'm not, this is on purpose. But at the same time, this is a serious subject in that we need to continue talking about the spiritual part, but without them trying to think we're in a cult. Okay. Now, are we in a cult? Well, y'all know we're not. But are we members, this quote, secret group, the League of Like Minded Beings? Yep, we are. simply because we think this way. We didn't have to join. As soon as we started thinking alike, we went, holy crap, we're all up a group here. We got this group over here with Milky Way and with me and with you guys and this person and that. We're like minded beings. So can't change that. Whatever they do, they can't take that away from us. I mean, they can brainwash us, do whatever. They're gonna have to stick a brush in one ear and ram it through the other and do a thorough cleaning because they're not going to get that part out of my brain. And many of us are like that now. You can't take it away from us. We know we're connected, and we accept it. And so it's interesting that we don't need any type of prescribed, written anything to do this. The rules are very simple. Explain your intent. I wish to pray for peace. I wish for someone to get healed. I wish to send good energy to all my friends out there. Every time I pray for the beginning and the end of these videos, I sincerely mean it. I do wish y'all the best, and I do wish anyone who watches these videos to understand the universe in such simple ways that it just fills you up on the inside. I can't explain it. It just is. But the more you become a part of it, the is whatever, that hard to explain thing, it's the soul and the spirit, which I absolutely believe are separate, but together they're absolutely linked. They're like this. So you can't do one without the other, but they're not the same, in my opinion, and in other beliefs too. But the idea, though, that when you understand that we are more than this life. Now, I got to say that having been in prison and been under house arrest and so forth and blah 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 over my many years, it's that, you know what, which is better, to be a prisoner or dead or being tortured? Which is it? Which is best? If you're being controlled, but you're within the controlled circumstance, you have your own you have your own mind, you have your own wit. Now, folks who live in prison know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you've ever spent any time more than a couple of weeks or a month in jail, you'll get it. You will understand what I'm talking about. But my point to that is that if somebody said, now, if would I go along with something that somebody said, well, do you like this guy or that guy? I don't know. Are you going to kill me if I like this guy? Or you want me to go along with this? And because personally, I don't really give a shit. But if you want me to, and you're pointing a gun at me, I'll go with this guy, but he may stand for something bad. Okay. Well, now, why would I do that? Because I might be able to work from the inside. I'm going to go along, but in my heart, I'm going, I'm going to be a spy from this point on. So your intent is like, well, wait a minute. So somebody's pointing a gun at you. Will you renounce them? Well, maybe I say, well, no, no. Trust me, I've had the opportunity to turn in friends to drop a dime on somebody, and I absolutely refused both times. Actually, it was 3 times. And absolutely refused and said, no, you got me. You don't got them. Take me to jail, or I'm already in jail, but I'm not putting anybody else in here. No, the hell with you. If you don't, if you don't accept my plea of guilty, then get the hell away from me. When I said they had nothing to do it, well, they must have helped you. Well, just shut up. But anyway, but no, I would never turn on anyone, and haven't, in the chances that I could have gotten a delayed sentence or something. I said, no way, I'm not going to do it, and didn't. So, and I've been faced with that. I was facing 20 years. So, and I said, screw it, I'll do the 20. I'm not turning on anybody. I couldn't live with the guilt of turning on someone. So if somebody says, well, Hawkeye, how can you be sure that you would be honorable in what you say? Because I've already been honorable. I've already had the chance to turn someone in for a lighter sentence, and I refused. I took my punishment. They had to go through their own stuff, but theirs wasn't mine. But to the point, I didn't drop a dime on anybody anytime. You know, if I got caught with marijuana in my backyard, who you selling it to, boy? Well, I wasn't, and no. But to the point was there somebody else involved? Well, there was someone who helped me water them and kind of keep an eye on them. But that was because I was going through some health issues and so forth, and it was hot that summer. We needed water, um, but um, but the idea that I was like selling, loads of marijuana, no, I was growing it for my own personal use. And but way back then, but people thought because I got such a light sentence, that they didn't know my back history with the sheriff here in this county. He had busted me one time before, and it was like, listen, dude, man, we know you're not trying to sell anything, but you need to move to California where you can grow this and not get caught. And he came down here one time and pulled up some plants that I had and said, listen, there's somebody in your neighborhood don't like you, boy. And it would never arrested me, never took me to jail. And there are people in the who found out about that and said, who'd you turn in? And I said, nobody. You had to turn in somebody. And I said, no. But somebody turned me in. They came down to my property, absconded with some stuff and this and oh, brand new bag of weed. But I digress in that. But to the point though, and there are several people I could have turned in to made it lighter on myself, and I said, nope, ain't gonna do it. Had already spent time in jail down in Florida. So when I bought this property, which was the second time I got busted up here, was because somebody turned me in. It was a false alarm, a false charge. But they got me, but they didn't. But now, what most folks don't understand is when I got busted again, the sheriff he was the deputy sheriff at the time that busted me. Now he was the sheriff. So he already knew who I was. He didn't want me in his jail because he knew of my condition with epilepsy and so forth. He said, no, get this guy out of my jail. And everybody thought I did some kind of deal. It wasn't that at all. But from the outside, people was like, you must have turned somebody in. You listen, I got 5 years probation and I had to pay this big fee. I don't think I really got off scot-free. I spent 3 days in jail without medicine and my brain went nutso, but that's okay. Missed a doctor's appointment, screwed up a bunch of stuff. That's okay. I got busted again for for goodness sakes. So, but no, did I get away with anything? Well, it could have been worse. Yes. But to the point, because I mean, they had helicopters, over my yard. So you didn't get sent to, nope. You didn't serve any, nope. You didn't go, nope. Oh my God. Who did you screw? Who did you let screw you? Meaning me. And, or who did you turn a dime on in the county? And I'm like, sorry, but no, none of the above. And nobody can, there's still people that say, nah, you had to pull some kind of strings. And I'm like, nope, I just prayed and I meditated and I said, Lord, help me out of this jam. I'll do whatever it takes. I had to serve community service, which was a benefit. I agreed to do this, this, and this for the community. And I agreed to blah, 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 blah. And I followed all those things to the letter. I had to discipline myself because otherwise I was going to serve time in jail. So the alternative was to be under, quote, house arrest and be able to work around these rules. So, as a person who is different in the spiritual aspect, I look at it as the same thing. I'm sort of under house arrest by all these religious fanatics, okay? And they want to look at me as a prisoner, in that I am a prisoner of my own devices because I have this crazy idea that I can be close to the source, to the creator at all times without having to use a Bible or go to church or to play any organ music to get there. I don't have to go hallelujah to nobody. I don't have to worship anything. I give honor and I adore Mother Earth and all and the universe. It's all about adoration and honor. We honor each other. We honor the mother. You and me, we honor each other. We treat each other with respect. That is exponential because it's all positive energy. So when we in our, and I'm using this just as a gag, our little cult of like-minded beings, because they're gonna want to look at it somehow, and it must be a cult. There must be some kind of magic to it. Yeah, there is. The magic is not listening to them and understanding what seems and feels right for us from our heart, our core being. What do I personally believe in? I still read the Bible. I still read, these other writings. I still seek knowledge in other places and little tips and tidbits from places and things. So it's not like, oh, Hawkeye knows everything about this. I'm still searching things. I did a video earlier today about discipline. And you know how the simplest of things, and I got up on the wrong side, if there is one, of bed today, and something was like just trying to irritate my craw, and I was fighting against it, and I was having an argument with a root, for goodness sake. And it was trying to piss me off. And I was like, no, 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 no. So, but with that though, it's our self-awareness and it's our allowing ourselves to get upset or to or or to be lazy. Well, I don't know, it's a little cold outside today, so get your ass up anyway. That was me today. Okay. Yeah, it's a little cold outside. I know I'm creaky. I'm 67, yeah, and I've fallen off of scaffoldings and I've really hurt myself, not on purpose, mind you, but accidental crap happens. Falling out of trees as a kid, anyway, I'm getting hit in the head with a tree limb just the other day, that's still a tender spot right there, by the way. But anyway, but the idea, though, that that I want anyone to belong to a cult, or that there's any prescribed method to this. The prescribed method is simple. We keep it simple. State your intent. Use a sacred herb, if that's what you think. Lighting a candle is a representation of your wish. Now, in churches, especially Catholic churches, you light a candle for the dead, you light a candle for somebody sick, you light a candle, blah, 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 you know. And so, and you got to pay to light the candle. Don't forget that. You always got to put money in the thing to light the candle. A lot of people don't know that. There's a little box there, you're supposed to put your quarters in there to light the candle. Just saying. It's all about the money, too. Because I remember as a kid one time lighting the candle, and the sister said, "Where's your money?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't, sister. I didn't know I could." No, 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 no. For every one you light, you got to put money in the. And I'm like, "This is church." No, but the little slot right there. Yeah, put your clink. Oh, so when I'm in the back of the church and I hear somebody, I hear that clink, and then they light a candle. It's the money going into the change box to pay for your wish to come true in the Catholic Church. Oy vey. Can you hear me now, my brothers and sisters? So with all of this, you say, well, I can light a candle here at the house and save the drive. Wouldn't it mean just as much? And my point is, yeah, because it's our intent. So we can light a candle here at the house, go outside, quote the ceremony, go outside, light a candle, and just say to the universe, my friend's sick, I wish help, and blah, 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 whatever, I wish wellness, I wish peace, whatever it is. Pick just one thing, though. Don't pick a bunch. Pick one, so it's more direct and can actually be helpful, rather than pick, I wish peace and love upon the earth and that everybody's. Just stick with one. It's better for the prayer. So, but the idea, though, that are we in a cult? You and I know better. Do they? let's be careful that we don't portray that. Now, I mean that just for both sides. They need to get to know us better before they put us in a category. Okay. So it is important. Now, there are some people who will go into a place with tattoos all over themselves and show it off like, look at my tats. And some places that's really not the right thing to do. You should wear a shirt appropriate to cover them. Later on, show them your tats. Let them get to know you first. But if you go in there all brazen and everything, that sets a tone. And what you want to do is gain people's attention. You want to gain their confidence, not attention. You want to gain, it's not their attention you want to gain their confidence. So you gain confidence by something that's similar between you. They see something similar, you see something similar. You sit down, you talk similar things. How's the weather? How's the fries here in the restaurant? Who makes the best curly doodlies? Who knows? But the idea, though, that is you find a commonality to start the conversation. If the other person, other party, or whoever is going like this, you're not going to have that conversation. So, but having awareness of that is a shaman's trick. Did you hear me? It's a shaman's trick. It's the magic. Now you see me, now you don't. The Jedi mind trick, you don't see me. You can do that by changing your appearance with a little bit of something to make yourself more comfortable. Now that's a wizard's trick. What? Are you listening? So how you portray yourself, it's not that you're portraying it falsely, it's that you want whoever you're talking to or to portray to be comfortable with the situation. Oh, yeah. Very, 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 very powerful, especially if you understand and you use it correctly. You can misuse it. I've known people in my life that have misused it, and it's caused other people harm, but it's always been condemning to them that misuse the power. They might have gained something, but in the long run, boink, no, they didn't. They lost respect. They lost honor. No, they didn't. They didn't win. So now to the rest of them. When we discuss our spirituality, we explain it so that they understand in little small doses, and that we be careful. Now, I'm saying this because I've been getting these little angel messages this last couple of weeks about it's important that you and I meet in this realm, and that you all meet people where you're at, and as you hear me talk about, that we spread this around. The more people that we touch, that we communicate with, the more it's spread out. And how we connect with these people with kindness and love and honesty, and one of the things is that's been, let's how do I put this, there have been some folks. Now, there are a lot of folks, and I don't mean in this community per se, but in the community of supposedly like minded beings. And these folks aren't really acting nice. You know, they're acting kind of greedy and like, hey, look at me. Wait a minute, you looked over there. Why aren't you looking at me? And it's like, I'm about the message. If 5 people hear the message and it makes sense, I'm good. My mission is complete here on this plan, in this plane. Now if there were tens of thousands of people subscribed to this channel, whoa, would there be some different thinking in the world? But see, that's not where I'm at. I'm sort of the underground, if you will. I'm the mental anarchist, I spoke about earlier in another video, because I'm the monkey wrench. I'm the fly in the ointment, you know. I'm doing the backstroke in their pea soup, you know. That's me, and it's like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm annoying as hell, you know. What's he doing? I don't know. He's the side stroke, I think. Is that the dog paddle? No, it's the fly paddle, dummy. I'm a fly, not a puppy. Anyway, LOL, laugh my ass off. Yes. But with giggling over here. Any other near the heater where it's warmer. Yeah, she ain't stupid. See, no,
Huddled in front of the heater like this, like, oh my God, it's so cold outside.
Not quite, but almost. If she could hug it, she would.
No.
Anyway, breaking down, yeah. She's in the house. But anyway, so to sort of wrap this up, to not just drone on and on and on and on about this crap, but the idea though that we ourselves must understand how they think of us, and we know we're not a cult because there's no ceremony other than a prayer for goodwill and understanding between us. If that's ceremony, okie dokie, welcome to that's it. That's it. Well, are you were expecting something else? Yeah. Do you have some guys have some kind of written code or something? Yeah. You know what it is? What? It's called, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ween. That's the secret code. And if you don't understand what that means, you don't get to go. Oh my God. Let's all play Ween. Um, but so we get the joke, but to somebody else, they might like, what do they mean by that? Oh my God, there's a secret word. He said there was a secret word. He said it. And they could replay that little thing that I just said right there over and over and over again and play with the thingy and make me do frog jumps or something. I could grow horns up my head. Oh my God, he's a paganist or a yeah, because he's a. Oh my goodness gracious. But let's be simple with who we are. We are spiritual beings. So regardless of what they think of us, we must always make sure that our appearance is presentable. We don't have to go along with the whole thing, but if you expect to go in a place and it says coat and tie, you ain't getting in without a coat and tie. So don't expect to get in without a coat and tie. Don't expect to go and get in without a coat and tie. Take a coat and tie if you want to get in. Now, once you get in, that's a separate issue. But the rules are such that then you got to play that. It's their rules. Now, I can also play by my rules and say, F you, I'm staying home and don't go at all. But if I want to participate in the grand scheme of things, you kind of got to go out and politic a little bit. You got to do your little bit of schmoozing with meeting people here, meeting people there. And in doing so, then you can help to spread that message of whatever, good hope and will and cheer and all that other kind of stuff. But, it's our choice in how we use it. So is that being cult like? Nope. And I say, take pride in that. But remember, when people ask you about your spirituality and you try to explain it, remember, they're going to think cult. Okay? So when you go to explain it in ways that will make some kind of sense to them. And not every explanation is going to work on everybody the same way. So are you changing who you are? No, but you're explaining it differently because Uncle Mary over here is 92 years old. What? I can't hear you. Speak a little louder. You're gonna have to be a little different. Now, Uncle Mikey over here that's sitting here with his phone going like this, he's going, yeah, what do you want, Mr. Bob? Yeah, I'm listening. You're going to say, put the phone down for a minute, kid. I want to talk to you. What about sir? I got my phone here. Calm, you got to deal with them in different ways. And all the other people in between. So, but have you changed who you are? No, you changed in how you present yourself to these individual people. Everybody's got to be dealt with a little differently, but you're still the same person. Now, the big thing is that when you do these little changes, you always tell the truth. Don't lie, don't embellish, Now, there are times you don't tell the whole truth because it would drive this person, ka-ching, their brain would explode. And we don't want that. Okay. We want folks to understand as much as they can with their cognitive behaviors. That's from a Dante's video recently, if you're paying attention. The cognition ratio and their how much they can comprehend and what it means to them. It's their cognition. And there are some folks who think they got it together and they ain't got a clue. But to the point though, um, make sure you're disciplined in what you do. In other words, you repeat it, you practice it. If you're having good feelings when you meditate a particular way, when you remove yourself from stress by simply choosing not to get your emotions involved, and when you understand what it means to pull back from a situation emotionally, and when you understand what that truly means, and you learn how to practice it and to bring it into your life in an everyday basic, oh my God, you will be amazed at the changes that happen. And there are people who are still like tinkering with this. And it's like, why don't you practice this all the time? Well, I don't know, I forget, I don't have time. You should have time because when you make it your discipline, when you make it your habit, to be a good person and to present this thing and you'll be aware of this is I can let my hair down with these folks, or I need to put my hat on. I'm not changing who I am. I just want to be comfortable around. I want them folk to be comfortable with me. That's being polite. No, I'm going to wear my swastika and walk up there and go, hey, y'all see this? I might not represent this, but by God, I'm an American and I can wear it if I damn well please. And you got to accept. Nah, back off, Jack. You know what I mean? We can't be like that. That's the cult kind of thing because we demand other people to view it our way. I'm not demanding anything except that you practice on how, and I'm not really demanding, I'm asking, because I have no right to demand. None of us have the right to demand anything from anything. No dog, no animal, no critter. We can ask. And if our intentions are honorable, if we are honorable beings, if our spirit is honorable, it will show. You will glow. Animals will pick it up. They'll know the difference. They'll go, holy crap, I want to go sit in his lap and wag my tail. And, oh my God, pet me, Mr. Dave. Ooh, that feels so good. Yeah, the cat wants to come up and go, wow, let's say, hi, Mr. Dave. Haven't seen you in a while. Oh, pet me. I've got animal critters like that, four-leggeds. When my friend Marcia, I go over there, there's a cat that's known me for years. And he's like, is that you? And we always play this little cat and mouse. I'm a giant mouse to him, I guess. But I'm like, hi, how are you? And a pet. And he'll come over and he'll lay on his back, and he'll play this little game. But it's so he gets close to because he wants me to scratch him. But if he hated me, he wouldn't want to get close. So there's this little thing, even with four-leggeds, with critters, they want to be around you. They want you to pet them and right behind the ear, that spot. Oh. So when you become that spirit to everything and anything around you, and you understand what that means, and you go, oh wow, and you learn it, and it becomes who you are because you become more disciplined in your awareness. Leaning back to the last video I did about discipline, trying to keep that, and all these things are linked together in this idea of being a shaman. And so, am I doing anything special? Yeah, I'm taking control of my awareness. I'm taking control, I'm not trying to control someone else's thoughts. But if I pull my hair back and put on a hat, I can change their impression of me right away. Well, but aren't you manipulating time and space? Aren't you manipulating their thought patterns? Sure, you know what I mean? So you can have a cause and effect with little tiny minute things. There are women that are new. Well, I'm going to wear my makeup. I don't give a damn. And then they want to go to church and they look, I'm sorry, but they look like a whore. No, not in church, please. Be respectful of the other folks there. I don't care. Walk out and go, you want to. But if you're going to walk into a church, I don't go to many anymore, but that's not my point is that because I don't think they're respectable to me, towards me, but that's another thing. But if I'm going to walk into their church, I'm going to be at least be respectable on their terms. Why? Because I'm an honorable person. So I don't want to bring dishonor upon myself or to a place that I would go because I want to show my point of view of who I am. Screw you, blah, blah, blah. No. I may hate the Catholic Church, but I would still honor its presence if I went to one ever again. I would still be honorable. Would I do the sign of the cross with the holy water? Maybe not, but to the point that I would at least be honorable and where I would wear something at least appropriate, and I would try not to. I would speak honorably within the church if I spoke at all, or whatever the occasion. Back when in my theater days, we used to do choral and things, and quote perform at some of these churches in Thomasville and around, and we'd do choral arrangements with other activities and things. It was all really nice, but my point to that is that I have no problem with folks being spiritual in a religious place. The songs and the music and the singing that we've done was very spiritual to me. That's why I did it. And it just happened to be performed in a church. Okay, but we've performed it in other places as well. But I gotta say, in a couple of these churches where we did some of the stuff, the harmonics and the echo in the churches, wow! I just gotta say, it's that harmony inside a church with the, you know what I mean? If you've ever been there with a choral. But anyway, but to the point though, with this about being cult members, let's make sure they understand that we are damn sure true spiritual beings. That's all. And how we are that way, you know, we keep it to a minimum. The more they understand that we show by example through our modesty, our humility, our compassion, and by all things, our honor and respect towards others. Whether we agree with them or not, we are respectful. Now, understand this, I would not put on a swastika to go to a Nazi meeting. Okay. I may go to a Nazi meeting, but I would not put on a swastika. Okay. So I may go to, and that's like really stretching it, if you know what I mean. But say I wanted to meet some people and to show them that, you may wear that insignia, but there are those of us who I want to show you that, wait a minute, there are folks out here like me who will come and talk to folk like you. And I will come to your establishment and I will just be a calm human being. And I will be calm. Let's have a conversation. You can scream and holler and jump up and down and agitate me all you want. But and God forbid that you go into attack mode, because I might have to defend myself, and then you'd find out maybe I know a few strange ninja tricks that will take you flat down. What was that? Oh, I don't know. He's on the ground and he's going, oh, just saying. It's amazing what one finger can do in the right place. Just or a thumb. And if you're ever in a self-defense, you see in the movies where they always punch with their knuckles. Please don't do that. Use the palm of your hand. Use this right here. You can follow through with a shove that will crush someone's jaw, where you will break your fingers as you break someone's jaw. But if you want to defend yourself, it's more, you keep your fingers sort of down, but you hit them here with this, because this here, you can take punishment. Your knuckles can't. So you think, not necessarily open hand, but I think you get what I mean. You hit them with this part right here, you're going to hurt them, especially if you follow through. Anything that you do, just don't go chink. It's always follow through. If you're going to hit somebody, just don't just go tink. No, that's just going to piss them off, and they're going to smack you one. But if you got to follow through with everything in life. Follow through with your spirituality. Now, I'm not for aggravated assault on anyone, but if someone tries it on me, they're going to end up there. There's certain things that I just know how to do that, all right, I'm not going to pick a fight, but I'll damn sure defend myself. And you may get injured in the process in defending myself. So I see nothing wrong with that. But now, if somebody would, if I'm saying, okay, you had enough. If they kept coming, all right, here goes another lick, boom, you know, and go for the groin. If somebody's if is intending you harm, then take them down. Don't hesitate. Well, I just hit him in the face a few times. Maybe he'll stop. Take his there out and put him on the ground. You kick a female hard enough, you can take them down too now. Just saying. Yeah, I get a yep from over there in the corner. And I'm not trying to be rude, but if you're going to be harmed, take them out. I don't mean kill them, but take them down. You know, and I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, go ahead. Jump up and chase me. Ain't gonna happen. So you kind of got them right there, and if they're attacking you, they're not playing fair to begin with. So that breaks the rules right there. Open field, Well, I'm going to play by the boxing ring. Crap on that. Take them down. But in the most humane way possible. But a thumb underneath here, underneath the jaw, like right in here, in the neck, it hurts. And you shove a thumb up through there hard enough, they're going to stop what they're doing and go, holy crap. It's going to slow them down. You don't have to break an arm or a leg or anything like that, or a foot or maybe a toe, but to the point though. And how did I get off on this side of it? But to the point though, we wish to be humble beings, but if you push us, sorry, I will defend myself. And you say, "Well, he don't know nothing." Okay, you haven't come at me yet, have you? You still have all your fingers, you know. I've got a machete that stays very sharp, and trust me, I just glanced it across my finger, and I still have problems with the nerve on this finger. If I swing it at you a couple of times, you're going to be bleeding, and I might not take you down or kill you, but you're going to stop running at me. That's for damn sure. And I don't want to do it, but if I have to, okie dokie. But I will sit down and talk with you a lot quicker, but I will defend myself anyway. And we should defend ourselves in those kinds of things. Now, in being prepared spiritually, one of the things we should understand is that every day is a new day. And so you understand what spirituality means right now. But are you going to understand what spirituality means next week? Now, I don't mean that to be crude, rude, or otherwise, but we say, well, yeah, I got it. Do you really? Do you know what's going to happen in the next week? Well, you got a little idea, you got an agenda going here, but my point is you won't know until you experience the next week what next week brings. So you can say, but are you going to feel the same this Saturday as you did last Saturday? The answer is no. Why? Well, because it got cold this week. We had to go outside and collect fire. I'm looking at breaking dawn. We've got a fire going right now. Thank you very much for all the hard work and the tree effort and so forth. We're nice and warm. But it required effort. So we put forth the effort several days ago, a week ago. We got a really nice pile of firewood and some ready to go. But it's forethought. If I'd have waited till it got cold, we'd be freezing our ass off right now. No, I thought about it 3 weeks ago and said, we need to cut some firewood. And we'll pile up a little here. She went for that way. I went for over here. And we worked together. And together we've got this really nice pile of firewood. And we're both very nice and toasty warm. Well, and well fed too, but that had nothing to do with cutting firewood. But to the point, yes. But the thing is though, in what we expect. So you have to, if you want to stay warm, you got to put something in it. So and good Lord knows the hurricane brought down trees. So all we had to do was cut them up and drag them over here and do the procedure. But the thing is, in spirituality, you got to do the same work. You can't just, well, there's the heater. Well, yeah, okay. Is there any wood in it? No. Okay, well, here I am. I'm a spiritual entity, but I'm not feed there's nothing, I'm not feeding my spiritual soul with anything. What could that be? Anything. It could be going outside. I mean, we want to go back to the water. We went out on the lake on new moon night on that Tuesday, last Tuesday. Yeah, it was last Tuesday. We went out on the lake and saw the sun go down, and it was beautiful out there. And but to the point about that though, so and we just said, "Hey, you want to go?" And we did. And that was that. But the experience changed us both because it was, wow, it's really nice, and we could sit out there, and there was no current, and wow, it was really pretty, and it was first time on the lake, and on any lake. Oh, on any lake. Oh, okay. And a kayak, yeah. So, first time experience for her. Now, first time for me to be on that particular lake, but I've been in my kayak and other, conditions. But to the point though, it still left an impression. I still feel it when we were paddling through the dark. I mean, many people would have freaked out. I gotta say, God bless. I'm breaking dawn over here. She's got the courage of 100 mules, I reckon, in that she followed me in the dark because I said, "Stay behind me." I may run into the occasional brush pile, but most of the time I'd go, whoop, oh, a little to the right here, a little to the left, and we'd be missing this pile sticking up out of the weeds, and with no flashlights on, just by going by the light of the starlight because it was a new moon last Tuesday. But it gives me a chance to use my third eye vision and to be able to look at in the darkness and see something so we don't run into it. And we made it a long way with very little running. There was a couple of places it looked like it was going to be open, and then when we got there, it wasn't. It was like, gotta back out of here and go this way. And then things were a lot better. But we made it all the way back without any major incident at all. We scraped a couple of logs here and there, but yeah, we was 2 miles up this mile and a half up this lake. So, and at night with no headlamp. But to the point though, was an exercise in how to experience yourself in the universe. And she's a brave soul to follow my my old crazy ass in a kayak. It wasn't the middle of the night, but it was dark 30 for sure. But it was gorgeous out until the clouds moved in. But anyway, but had we not gone and done it, we would not have that experience, and we shared it together, each in our own way, but also together. Her first time on the kayak on the lake, blah blah blah. My first time on that lake, but oh, how great it was where we were. So same experience, but not. It's still individual, but it's still shared. But it was still a good experience for both of us. And we came away with it with good energy from the experience. So, and that we can expound and share with y'all in our prayers, and that goes out into the universe. You know, from our perspective. You know, so but is that, I bring this back. Does that mean we're a part of a cult? Nah. But let's make sure they understand it. Whoever they are, let's make sure they get it. It's not about any kind of pagan thing. We lit some sage. We was out there. We took a couple of pictures. There were a couple of orb beings out there, and I haven't figured out the new YouTube thing yet to share some of these pictures. So I'll figure it out. But we've got some pictures of orbs we still need to share with you from the Flint River and now from this lake. Um, but um, but the idea though that to experience it. So as what I was talking about, the stove's in the house and it will warm us if we put wood in it and tend it. So your spirit, your soul is like a furnace, but we need to put experiences in it so that our souls are enriched and our spirits are enriched. Otherwise, the heater is going to go out, if you know what I mean. So, to go outside in nature to fill us up with this energy is what keeps us flowing, is what keeps our energy and our heaters going. So, Lord have mercy, please do yourself a favor and go charge yourself up with the rocks, some water, some energy, something like that, because that is how the spirit is energized. From a shaman's point of view, it is absolutely essential. Now, see, that's one of the reasons why I kind of sort of, I'm hanging towards the Christ. Why? Because he brought everybody outside and sat them on the ground. Why? Because I think he understood more so than in a temple, in a man made structure. I think Jesus understood, hey, I'm going to take you out here. It's a lot easier. I can talk to you. The multitudes, y'all can lounge around. We can talk here. But I think that he understood Mother Earth has a charge to it. He was using them and the earth and where he was to help him explain from an energy standpoint, because you can say, look at the Mother Earth around you, look at the ocean, look at the Sea of Galilee, look at the fish that are being brought in his parables and in his talks and things. So he was speaking to people in nature about the nature of things, and they understood it better. Whereas religions and politics had to move it inside a building and keep us away from nature of things. So, how can our souls be filled if we're inside a building that's shielding us from the actual nature that we require? So, those folks who would say, but he's a pagan, he's outside sitting with a rock, just say, no, sir, I'm not pagan. I'm just a spiritual being on this planet. What? That's all you got to do. What religion are you? I am a spiritual being on this planet. You're a what? What religion? I'm a spiritual being on this planet. Well, wait a minute, but what religion are you? I'm a spiritual being on this planet. When it says other, mark other and put spiritual being on this planet. What religion are you? Other. Spiritual being on this planet. Because it's not a religion. No, but it states who you are. And that's important, right? Who are we? I'm a spiritual being on this planet. Is it a lie? Is it a cult? No, because all religions are supposedly trying to preach about being spiritual beings. And where are we? On the planet. So, duh, pay attention. So folks out there are like, well, wait a minute. I don't know if this is true or not. Well, wait, what the hell do you mean it's not true or not? Can you pay attention to what you're spouting out your own mouth? What comes out of your Bible? Are you listening to your own babble? Please listen to yourself. You're droning on about something that you really have missed the point. Remember, in Revelations, in two different places, the angel comes to John, and John's bowed down. He's like, oh, and the angel says, get up, my brother, because you are as I am. That means we're all spiritual beings. And you can take a lot of stuff in between in the Bible, but the fact that this happened twice to John at the end, we should pay attention to those types of things. People go, well, that doesn't really matter. Really? Oh, really? It doesn't matter? Tell me again how this doesn't matter. How we're spiritual beings? Yeah, but the Pope, he don't pray that way. Homie don't play that shit neither. You know what I'm saying? We've learned something different. We've learned how to be spiritual without a lot of rhetoric. We've learned how to be spiritual through the nature and through Mother Nature and the Mother Goddess, if you will. And what I mean by that, especially, is the Mother Nature of all things, the nurturing, the loving, not the warlike, manlike. Hey, look at how big my thing is over here. Yeah, this is my spear. Oh, you thought I was talking about something else? It got shot off in the war. Oh, look at my spear. Yeah, guys, what can I say? But to the point though, there are some females who have become so manly to the point that it's like, and some guys who have become so opposite. It's like somehow in this, is there supposed to be a balance? I don't know. And I think that in the cosmos there is an upset in the balance, which is the cause and effect of some of the things going on now. Meaning there are folks who don't want to be guys, who don't want to be, I don't want to be some masculine man. I don't want to hurt anybody. And then there are some women who really want to, I want to kick your ass. And seriously, want to, they want blood. I've met some of these country girls. Don't cross them. They'll kick your ass and hurt you quickly and take you down when you least expect it because they're a girl. Yep, you're down. So don't fool with Mother Nature. But this, we should all be strong and we should all be protective. Now, but should we all try to prove ourselves to the rest of the guys by being forceful? And that's where the universal law of one comes into this conversation to tie this, wrap it up some more. And it's very simple. If we keep our original intent, which is to do no harm, unless we got to protect ourselves, but to do no harm, no outward force of nature, but protection necessary. Yep. So with that, but if our intention is always, look, I don't want to hurt you, but you keep coming at me, I'm gonna have to stop you. And one more time, warning, 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 real Robinson, you just got your whatever's kicked off, little robot, So and I don't know how the robot would feel if he had his gonads kicked by an alien, warning, real Robinson. Oh, anyway, a little bit of absurdity into this, but sometimes we got to be absurd to look and go, wait a minute, some of this is a little more true than not. Holy crap. And some of the sci-fi movies and things, oh my God, are they telling us some stuff or what? Are you guys paying attention? Ooh, mind control on a big scale, flashing lights and all kinds of stuff. That's going to be for another conversation. Brandy, I see you out there. Gerald, call it personality. Too many spiders. Canoed once, too many spiders. But when you understand the spiders are your friend, eh, it, you know, listen, I got a phobia about spiders. I do, I do, I do. But in the grand scheme of one of my lessons is I have to understand that all critters, great and small, when you act with respect around them and honor, but they ain't such bad critters after all. They still creep me out. Don't get me wrong. But they learn to stay in their corners. Even though we have to clean the corners, there's one right there I'm looking at. I got to clean with the vacuum cleaner. Got to get some of them spider webs up. But they help keep the bug population down, and they got to live too, and all creatures, and this, that, and the other, and blah, blah, blah. But to the point, though, it's like there is the point. Well, I don't want them around me. Well, I don't want them in my bed, but they can have their own bed over there on the other side of the room, and I'm okay with that. But they got to understand, you come over here is squash, and tell your buddies you get into my zone, my territory, your history, and it's amazing. They will respect it 99.9 times out of 10. When you put the harmony out there, look, y'all got your space. This is mine. I know people say, you're talking to the spiders? Yes, because you give honor to everything in the universe. And as a shaman, as a spiritual person, you understand that, you give honor to all things. You honor that they're a spider. You honor that it's a snake. You honor that it's an ant. It might get on you and bite your ass, but it's still an ant. And ants do what they do. They get on you and bite you if you get in their way. So, you can't be pissed at the ant because he's an ant. You're pissed because he bit you, or they're in your sugar or something like that. But to the point, so, and here's a story that many people have heard, but they don't really understand it. And so there was this young brave. He's, some say, 12, 13, 15, but he's sent off on his own for the first time to prove himself to be a man. And what his vision quest, his journey is to climb this mountain, spend the night, and seek any wisdom from the Great Spirit and from the grandmother and grandfather of the ancients. And so on his way up the mountain, he gets way up towards where it's cold, and there's a snake, rattlesnake. Now, there are different stories about types of snake, but generally it's the rattlesnake. So the rattlesnake speaks to the young brave and says, "Ah, young brave, I am a rattlesnake and I'm very cold. Would you pick me up and save me? I'm freezing to death." And the young brave is like, "Well, but aren't you a rattlesnake?" And he goes, "Yes, yes, pick me up. Yes, I'm a rattlesnake, but I promise not to bite you if you'll pick me up and get me warm." So he does. The young brave trusts him. And so he finishes his quest, and on the way down to the mountain, when the snake warms up, just as he's getting off the path, the snake bites him. And as the venom's going into his veins, the young brave looks at him and he said, I did what you asked, and I carried you down the mountain and I saved you. And why would you do that? And the snake looked at him and he said, "Because I'm a snake." Now, that's where the story usually ends. What the Native Americans, the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, is that the snake honored him, bit him, presented him with poison, and introduced the brave to his snake clan brothers and sisters. So he elevated this young brave because he picked him up, regardless of the fact that he was a snake. But in gratitude, unbeknownst to the rest of the people, because the people think that the young brave died, but what happened was the young brave transformed. He was welcomed into the snake tribe and shared both things. And in the daytime, he could transform into a snake and crawl through the desert and do snaky things. And at night, he was a brave. He could run and jump and ride with the wind and all those things. But in the daytime, he was a snake again. So he was a prince of both realms. But if you only listen to where the white people stop the story, in that but the idea though, he was a snake. He was always a snake. So if you pick up a snake, understand it's a snake. You take precautions. If you don't take precautions, it's your own damn fault, not the snakes. And I've handled wild animals. I've handled many snakes around here. Foxes, possums, there's even, some quite a few bobcat in the area too. And some of them are really big. I mean, like little leopards kind of thing. Oh my God, these things are huge. But anyway, but to the point though, in all the times I've been out here in the woods, I have never been threatened by any wild critter. What? I'm 67. I've been in the woods since I was a little kid. I have never been threatened by a wild. Now, when I was in bear territory at one time, yeah, well, I was in bear territory and I was a little kid and I didn't know any better. But when I, as an older person, and I understood bears and territories and things like that, I understood. And I was visited by a bear one time on the Ozark, on the Buffalo River in the Ozark Mountains. I'm laying there and the bear's nose is like right above me, and the only thing separating us with a thin piece of nylon tent. And but the bear could have mauled us, killed us, or whatever. Didn't, because he respected. I knew the bear. I was going to get a visit from the bear before I went on the trip. That was one of the reasons why I went. And sure enough, right up over my head, sniffed me and walked up the beach. We saw the paw prints the next day, and so it's like, but there have been chances where I should have been mauled by a bear and wasn't. Now, I wasn't trying to get mauled by a bear, mind you, but I was in a territory where a bear happened. Now, he went up the beach and visited the other campers too, didn't harm them. So it's not like I feel like, oh, well, you're the only one. No, the bear wasn't, just checking out, seeing if anybody left any garbage. But the idea, though, that the bear was literally, we were almost nose to nose, and I got a big honking nose, right? So we'd have been right in there. But the fact that, that was that. And I met the bear, heard the bear breathing, right out. It was a strange feeling, but knowing that I was safe, I just didn't panic. And maybe I should have, but I didn't. And I think that's what kept us from getting harmed in any way. There was no panic, and animals can sense that. And so when you have that confidence, when you understand the natural sense that you already are. Now, I'm not suggesting you go out and try to pet a black bear. No. But there are situations that you may arise that you'd be surprised by how you react in a situation, that there are beings, bears, animals, and things. I walked up on 3 deer right out here when I went to pick up wood the other day. I rounded the corner and there was 3 young deer standing. They were like, "Holy crap! There's this weird guy." Um, but it's like, I've walked up on animals all the time because I don't, they don't hear me coming, and there is a sense when I walk in the woods, I'm just comfortable, and so I carry it with my aura. It's my scent, if you will, in the sense that they don't pick me up like somebody stomping through the woods to go what. Not the same. So how you present yourself to the rest of the world is how they see you. Deer run, deer don't run. Bear attack you, bear turn around and go away. So it's all important and it's all tangled up together. But when you learn how to do it correctly, it seems like you've got supernatural powers. And what it is, it's that you have your natural powers back. How about them apples, my friends? Well, thank you. It's an hour and 32 minutes and odd seconds. I'm going to scan real close through what y'all got to say, but I am dry and thirsty and I got a back cramp, butt cramp kind of going. You know me about that. Brandy, how are you? Um, Spiders are silent. Yeah, Gator proved I couldn't walk on water. Damn sure tried. Gerald, 2 million species of insects in the Amazon. Listen, you'd be surprised at how many species are in my backyard. Just saying. I've talked about that before. Hey, Marie, how are you? Um, I don't like spiders and snakes. You got what it take, blah, 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 blah. Uh, it gets dark here at 4:30. Holy crap. Living vicariously, moonlight kayak. It was really fun, Michelle. It really was. And I do it all the time. Well, I did it by myself before. Now, Breaking Dawn, she, I don't know if she, I think she really wants to go. There are sometimes like, look, I want to go find water. Well, are you sure? It's like, you don't have to go. I'll still go. It's okay. You can choose, huh?
I don't think I ever said, "Are you sure?"
No, I know, but I mean, there are times I'm like, well, I said the other day, for example, I said I really got to go find water. I mean, it's been a while. So, okay, where you want to go? I was like, okay, let's go. We did. Cold, sunset, no moon. Yep, we went anyway. Um, yeah, you'd love to start like kayak. Well, listen, there are a couple places in Florida, North Florida, South Georgia, more North Florida, up in the Panhandle that do moonlight. They do full moon kayak trips or canoe trips, whatever you got. You can go on these float trips, and it's really cool. And especially when you get a group of like-minded people together. But if y'all are ever in the neighborhood, ring us up. We'll be glad to go on a moonlight kayak trip or cruise or something. You know, yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to travel anywhere and how far or when, but if we do and you're in the neighborhood or we're in your neighborhood, we'll throw you in the boat and take you on out with us. Well, maybe not throw you in the boat. I'm a little old for that, but I'll help you get in. But to the point though, and the water is energy and it's energetic. And when you allow the energy of the water, it's like I was paddling around and Breaking Dawn doesn't really. She's like, okay, I'll follow you. But there's a spot over there they want me to go to, and we were paddling around, and I just found this spot, and it was just like really comfortable. Don't know how else to explain it. We'd gone 2 miles almost, and it's like, but this spot was like comfortable. And I'd been led to this place, tried to go over here, and they were like, nah, go over there on that side. We crossed over, sat there, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes at least, and watched the sun go down and watched the stars come out. And it was just like, wow, it was a really nice, cool little spot. Just where it was on the water in relationship to everything else. And we'd stopped at other places, but it just didn't feel right. But when I found that one spot, it was like, don't know what it was about it, but it sure did feel good for a while we were there. So, when we allow ourselves to find these, I like to call them hot spots, sort of, as far as energy, you search or you allow spirit to take you to these energy places. And this lake didn't always used to be a lake. It's only been a lake in the last 6, 7 years. So there could have been something there along the shore of this creek that's now a lake. So who knows what's just underneath the water there after they built the dam, or what had been there at some time in the past. But now it's underwater. But they sent me to this place. Bottom line is, it was energetic. It felt great. It was real. I'm really glad we took the time and the effort to go paddle out there and partake in that. And my point to you all is that sometimes you just have to break away from the norm and say, I just have to go do this. Now, we were safe. We had our PFDs on. We got our paddles. We had our lights. We were all safe, and we were, in that respect. So it's not like we were clumsy. We were safe with our activities. So, but there are those people who say, I wouldn't go out there, pitch dark. Are you crazy? Well, in that, maybe yes. But were we safe? Yeah. Did we get our eye poked or anything like that? No, I got a scrape or two, but that's because I was lead kayak and whoops, sorry, I ran into a bush that was sticking out in the middle of the lake. They were really hard to see in the dark, I'm telling you. But it also gave me practice to increase my nighttime vision and my nighttime experience, and so that experience helped me to practice, that trait, that art, and it is an art. And because I've gone many a miles in the dark and have had very few little consequences. I've had giant fish up in the kayak with me, but as far as running into stuff, I've always get this warning because I'm aware of my surroundings. It's creepy, but in a lot of ways, I was like Breaking Dawn following me because we went all that way and didn't hardly run. Yeah, pretty good, ain't I? you know, um, and she's going, mm-hmm. And but the thing is that it's true, but it takes practice. I didn't learn how to do that all at once, but it's taken years. But to the point though, I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it when we understand what we're doing and how we're seeing the world and our reality. When we are aware of our surroundings and become aware of it, all of a sudden our other senses kick in. And we go, wow, oh crap, I see that. Well, let me back up before I run into this twig and it pokes my eye out. Which is exactly what I was doing. What? That's an eye poker right there. But we made it back safe and everything. But the experience, even with and the thrill of the adventure. So maybe we would have run into a thicket of stuff. Oh my God! And let's not talk spiders, because I bet you there were spiders on some of those twigs we had. But it was dark and we didn't look. But I will tell you the truth, there were spiders out there in the middle of the lake on them twigs. They float out there, they get out there, they live out there, and but there were spiders. You can betcha. But do I worry about it? Nah. Do they bite me? No. And if I see one, I go, whoa, you can't ride on me. But next train to Memphis. But anyway, I'm rambling on big time. My friends, I do love you. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight, Michelle. Wait, somebody over here. I need glasses to see who it is. Scratch. Hey, everybody. For everybody here, I got another subject. I talked about it earlier today, but I think it's important, and but it'll be at a later date, and it's going to be about mental health and schizophrenia and that type of thing, and what it means in the spiritual realm, and how maybe some schizophrenic people ain't really crazy. Hey, Delaney, how are you? Listen, love to all you all. I'm going to get out of here. And Scratch, sorry if you just got on here. Um, that's a cigarette if you can't tell, Dave. What? I don't. Do I have a cigarette? I don't. Anyway, I'm not going to go back and read it. I got a cramp going on here that I need to stand up and walk around in. But anyway, I love you all. Thank you so much for your consideration, and pass some of these considerations to other folk and say, you know what? Just maybe we need to look at this from a different point of view. Not necessarily that you're right and I'm right, or you're wrong and I'm wrong, or we're right or and or wrong. It isn't about that. It's about the conversation we can have about, maybe there's something different about this. And maybe we don't look like a cult to you anymore. We're just spiritual beings on the planet. As simple as that. We are members of the League of Like Minded Beings. We paid our dues when we were born, okay? And we have every right to belong to the League of Like Minded Beings. And if you can't tell, that's breaking Dawn back here over the shoulder back here in the back. She's hiding from me back there in the back. Hiding from you guys. She ain't hiding from me because I can see her. But anyway, I'm crazy old coot I am. But I send my love. We send our love to y'all. And we really do care about how y'all are doing, honestly. I know we can't like check in with you and everything, but the fact that you guys hang out with us, it gives us great joy to know that we can share the things that we've learned and have seen and have talked about, and we can share them with you in a positive way, and to help you become the better you. That's all. It ain't about me. It's not about Miss Deb. It's about how we can help you and each other. Because we have conversations between the two of us, which have many times stimulated a conversation to do a live YouTube. Hello, Gerald. If I, great night of truth, Hawkeye. Thank you so much, Gerald. Scratch. I'm breathing. I'm good. So anyway, we'll end this with prayer as always, and I honestly do mean it. We pray that each and every day that you will continue to accept and receive the healings, the blessing, the wisdom, and the knowledge of the universe, free of charge. We continue to pray that each and every day that you, your friends, your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and in future, will continue to accept and receive the healings, the blessings, and the knowledge and the wisdom of the universe. And we continue to pray that each and every one of you, your friends, all of your colleagues, and anyone that you come in contact with, that you continue to share, accept, receive, and share this wisdom that you are learning yourself. Because it's with the sharing that we all become one. We are already one. We just haven't, and I mean ONE versus WON, but one could think we've won because we've become one. How about that one for a twist at the end? My friends, cosmic hugs from Miss Deb and I. Until next time, it's TTFN from South Georgia. Ta-ta for now, friends. Keep it between the ditches. And always be compassionate as much as you can. Till next time.